All right, tonight I'm going to teach you what all the controls are on 5-minute multiboxing. First, the one button. The one button buffs your raid. Just hit it, and your warlocks will cast their pets, and if they are shadow touch of shadow warlocks, they'll consume their pets for the 15% shadow bonus. Hunters will feed their hunter pets. All priests and other buffers will cast this huge buff wall you see here. Priests will cast their inner fire. Warlocks will cast their demon armor, and mages will cast their mage armor. Shaman will lay down their totem set for this area. Hopefully one of the totems is like monostream, whatever, and it helps them. But it depends on the zone and the boss that I'm focused on, what totems they lay down. And druids will cast their stuff, and you can see there's a whole hell of a lot of buffs that get cast with the one button. Now, what else does the one button do? Shift 1 is a pulling button. Shift 1, all the shift key buttons, shift 1 through equal sign, are this second row of action buttons. When you hold shift down, you get whatever's on this second row of action buttons. So shift 1 is shoot crossbow for warriors. It is fairy fire feral for feral tanks, and it is the only other function shift 1 does is for hunters. Shift 1 is feign death if you're in combat. All right? Because none of these things matter in combat. None of these pull buttons matter in combat. So I'm kind of doubling up the shift 1 button for feign death for your hunters, or pull to start the battle. And the hunters won't feign death if you use it that way, because combat hasn't started yet. All right, let's look at the 2 button. What is 2? Alt 2 is a very important button. Alt 2 is warrior taunt. It's your main warrior taunt, your main focus taunt. Your other off tanks will not taunt on Alt 2. Only your main focus tank will taunt on Alt 2. That is the tank that did the Alt 4 to follow and focus. All right? Remember, Alt 4 is follow me, focus me. Focus my target, follow me. The Alt 4 tank, the guy whose window you are in when you do Alt 4, he is your main tank. Alt 2, getting back to the 2 button, taunts with that guy and nobody else. So the Alt 2 button allows the other tanks to attack, but they don't taunt. All right? Now, that's Alt 2. 2 button. The 2 button is one of your main spam buttons. That is single target attack. So single target, attack my target. I'm going to switch out of fire gear for a little while. Get into my defense gear. And we're going to go use the 2 button on something. Shift 2. See the little Will of the Forsaken symbol? Shift 2 is Fear Break. If you are a undead, first it will cast Will of the Forsaken. If you are an undead warrior, first it will cast Will of the Forsaken. Then if Will of the Forsaken's on cooldown, it will switch you to Berserker Stance and cast Berserker Rage, which is a Fear Break. Whoa, what's going on here? Where are all the mobs? Oh! I killed Gar. So I can't actually test these buttons on any of the mobs because they're all dead. Weird that killing Gar didn't make the lava elementals go away, because I just did a video with lava elementals. Alright, that was a 2 button. 2 button is single target attack. 3 button is multi-target attack. The targets could be far away or they could be right next to you. But your attackers, your DPS, will try to use their multiple target commands like multi-shot or blade flurry for rogues. Rogues will only use blade flurry if the targets are right next to them, don't worry. 4, button 4 is a very important button. It is not only the turbo button, that is where you pop all your cooldowns, right? Use button 4 to pop all your cooldowns. It's not just that button. It's also the Alt 4 button, which is follow me, focus me, right? Let's say I use the down arrow to back everybody up. Well, they've stopped following. But if I say Alt 4, they follow, okay? If I move my mouse into a different window and say Alt 4 twice, guess what? They're following that guy now and focusing that guy's target. This is the best thing about my scripts, my multi-boxing scripts. You can move your mouse to any window, hit Alt 4 twice, once for focus, once for follow, and your people are following you, and you are now picking the target from that window. Let's keep going. Number 5, button number 5, is the famous AoE button. That is Hellfire for warlocks, Arcane Explosion for mages, Holy Nova for priests, Blade Flurry for rogues. Rogues can't really do much. And hunters, hopefully you've backed your hunters up for the AoE, and they'll just multi-shot and stuff like that. And I can't really do volley on rogues, but it looks kind of like this. Boring, boring, boring. Yeah. Now, if you keep pressing that button and your warlocks are about to die from Hellfire, they will stop. If you don't press the button, they won't ever stop. They'll just keep Hellfire until they die. Or you can just jump, and they jump out of Hellfire. Right, that's 5. Those are your main damage-dealing things. Now, let me explain a few things about these first 5 buttons, because there's a little more to them than that. First, when I'm attacking, when I'm fighting, let's pretend I'm fighting, the 1 button is used to summon to the fight your melee. Look what my melee did. My melee ran up to the fight. All right. So there's the rogues. Any melee, Fury Warriors, Enhancement Shaman, they would run up on the 1 button. Okay. Anytime you hit the 1 button, the melee come up to you. Okay. The Alt 5 button. Sorry, but I was running out of buttons. Alt 5 brings up other tanks, the off tanks. Okay, the off tanks don't automatically come in on the 1 button. There's a good reason for that, because they're busy, right? But if you really want the off tanks to follow you, you hit Alt 5 and they follow you, right? So the only thing I haven't told you is what the Alt 1 button does. Alt 1 is unassigned right now. It's unassigned right now. I think I'm going to use Alt 1 as off-tank taunt. That's what I'm going to do. Off 1 is going to taunt with all of the off tanks. So if I move my mouse over here into Cupcakes window and he needs to taunt, Alt 1 is going to get that done. All right? Alt 3, what Alt 3 does is it causes, normally Alt, by the way, holding the Alt button down means DPS out. That means only the tanks swing. So Alt 2, not only is it taunt, it also means the tanks attack. Only the tanks attack. DPS is out. Alt 3, not only is it multi-attack, it also means only the tanks multi-attack. So the Furals are swiping, and yeah, you're kicking ass. Alt 4, we already know what Alt 4 is. That's follow. You can use that many, many times per minute. All right, when you're moving around. Follow me, focus me. And Alt 5, we know what Alt 5 is now. That is tanks follow. off tanks follow. Okay, that's all of the 5 buttons. There is one more bit of sugar that I add to those buttons. Control 1 should be fear. That should launch Warrior Fear. I haven't programmed it in yet, but that's what Control 1 should do. It should also launch AoE Fear for Warlocks, right? I'm going to have it do that too. All right. Control 2 is Interrupt, right? That is PvP type interrupt. It makes a warrior do every damn interrupt he has, one after the other. War Stomp, Concussion Blow, Shield Bash, everything he's got. And not just a warrior, any class will try to do whatever they got to interrupt. Okay? Control 3 think does nothing right now. That's not assigned. Okay, let's talk about the shift buttons. Shift 1, we've already said, is the pulling button and the feign death button for hunters. Shift 2 is Fear Break, very important for many bosses. And Shift 3 is Interrupt that boss. Shift 3 is a raid-wide interrupt call. Everybody who can interrupt will interrupt whoever your tank is tanking. It's very important for some bosses to interrupt their heals. Okay, and that's what you do with Shift 3. All right, we've covered all the main heavy hitter. These are the buttons that I use 99% of the time. I notice I did not mention number 6. Number 6 is a manual shield wall button. All right, normally the warriors throw shield wall by themselves. Okay, they manage their own shield wall. But for one boss, Kirinax in AQ20, they won't do their own shield wall or last stand. They will wait for you to hit the number 6 button, and they will shield wall on that button. By the way, the number 6 button on my hotkeynet file is not shared. So if I hit number 6 on Eversmile, Cupcakes is not going to pop his shield wall. That way, you can do the shield walls in sequence on Kirinax in AQ20, who, by the way, I've never downed, but I'm ready to down him now. I will down him the next time I see him. By myself, by the way. All right. Let's talk about the remaining buttons that you get from 5-minute multiboxing. We're going to talk about the function key buttons. All right? The function key buttons. F1 is a very important button. F1 is a crowd control button. You're telling your crowd control people, either mages, warlocks, priests, druids, the target that I'm targeting, when I hit F1, I want the next crowd controller for that class of target to crowd control that target during this fight. Warlocks will banish, mages will sheep. Okay? It'll put a icon on top of the target. If I do it to a target that is non-crowd controllable, it'll put an icon, but no one's going to take it. All right? No one's going to volunteer for it. This is a core rager. It is a beast elite. He's not crowd controllable. The mages know this, and nobody volunteers to crowd control him. Right? Besides crowd control, you have off-tank control. All right? Off-tanks are all the other tanks. I have 4 tanks. 3 of them are off-tanks at any given moment. The off-tanks are determined by whoever is not the focus. Right? So if I'm over here on Cupcakes and I hit Alt 4 a few times and everybody is following him, he is now the main tank. If he assigns off-tank targets, these other tanks get assigned. Watch. I'm going to say F4, Core Rager. Oh, yeah, that's one thing. You can only assign off-tank targets if you are the main raid leader or you have assist, and you are able to assign raid targets. All right? You have to be able to assign raid targets. Cubby Cake, notice he doesn't have assist right now. So he's not able to assign raid targets. Let's go back to him. Now he has assist. Look at that. It says, I, Komal, that's this druid tank over here, will be tanking the condom. Hit it again on the big guy. I, Furyswipes, will be tanking the diamond. I, Eversmile, will be tanking the triangle. Now what that means is during this next fight, if I pull, those off tanks are going to focus on their particular shapes, their raid icons, and they will taunt them, they will target them until they are dead, or until you select one of the targets and hit F6. I, Eversmile, am clearing my tank assignment on triangle. F6 on that guy. I, Furyswipes, am clearing my assignment on diamond. I, Komal, am clearing my tank assignment on condom. Now, you can clear all of the targets at once. So if I say him, then him, then him. Now there's another button. It's called F7, clear all raid targets. Okay? Nobody reports in, but everybody just cleared their assignments. All right? They don't report on that one. Okay, nestled between all these amazing crowd control and tanking buttons is F5. F5 is smart drink. Why is Eversmile smart drinking? Okay, I'm going to have to change smart drink so warriors don't request drinks. But smart drink means I trade with any mage in the raid and get some water if I'm out, and then I drink. Certain classes shouldn't do that. Warriors being one of them. I'm just going to drag the icon away on the warriors. Just remove the icon and he won't smart drink anymore. So the warriors aren't smart drinking. You could argue that the druid should smart drink because the druid tanks, they do actually cast Mark of the Wild, Gift of the Wild. So maybe the druid should smart drink. I'll leave their smart drink on. In any case, yeah. All right. So what else do we have? What are all these over here? Look, hey Todd, look at all these macros you put over here. Can you please explain those? Well, let's zoom in and check it out. All right, this macro is the focus me, follow me macro. You never actually click that. HotKeyNet clicks that automatically when you hit the Alt 4 button. And it only clicks it in the focus window. All right. You don't have to understand that. But that basically is the follow me button. Pent. Pent is pentagram, stands for pentagram. It's a fun little button. If you hit the F11 button, after you spread all your guys out, let's spread our guys out a little bit. Okay, we spread our guys out a little bit. You hit the F11 button, and it makes the shaman do chain heal. If you do it just right, you can make a pentagram with your chain heals, okay? It's just cosmetic. F11 is just a cosmetic fun thing. All right, F12 says line on it. F12 is a little different. It ain't cosmetic. F12 is actually useful in many situations. F12 means form a single file line. Right? All your guys follow all your other guys. Now, why am I doing it with Furyswipes? Well, because in my code, Furyswipes is at the beginning of the line. You hard code all this stuff. All right, so this is all in the follow order, all determined by the follow order line in super macro, in your super macro smextend.lua file. So if you go down to super macro and open up smextend.lua, and go down to follow order. Actually, I moved this up to the top for your scripts. Tune list. Let's just search for it. Okay, so there's follow order. Notice this is the follow order of the single file line. In your scripts, it's actually called capital MB underscore follow order. All right. I'm changing these scripts to reflect that. And this is the order everybody lines up in. You can change this to whatever your order you want. In fact, I'm going to show you what it looks like in the real shipping scripts. Interface, add-ons, super macro, smextend.lua. So follow orders right at the top for smextend, right there. Customization right there. This is the order your guys will follow in. Just change that to whatever order you want. And you guys are going to follow. Look at that single file line. Isn't that amazing? Wow. Wow. That's really nice. Now, why is this important for some raid bosses? Well, for some raid bosses like Shazra, it's important that you guys form kind of a semicircle, because Shazra will portal into your raid and bomb your ass. And for other raid bosses that, you know, launch fireballs into your stack, you don't want to be all stacked up. So sometimes it's easier just to form a line. For Nax too, and yeah, that's what you want. That's what you want. All right, what other buttons do I got to explain? Okay, these 6 buttons on the sidebar, these are very important buttons. This button right here, reload. Okay, in my first video, I was like, oh, my reload button isn't there. If I had hit my init button one more time, my reload button would have landed. All right. So this reloads your user interface. Every time you make a change to the code, you have to reload your user interface. This button here, this is leave party. So whenever you want to reform your raid, hold the tilde key down and hit everybody's leave party button. Okay? Everybody will leave party. You can reform the raid however you want. This button is focus. Target your focus. Do you want to know if you're the focus or not? Well, if you hit this button and it says you have no focus, you're the main tank. Notice these other guys, if you hit this button, oh, they're focused on Eversmile. Look at that. We'll tilde click it. Whoa, everybody's focused on Eversmile. What's that? Ignore that. And what else we got? Oh, this reset instance button. When you're running Stratholme, the worst dungeon ever, over and over again to do skelly packs, to get your Nax attunement, to get your honored with Argent Dawn, a lot of times you have to reset the instance. And I just found that it was easier to reset instances if I had a button. And so I would purposely wipe and strat, run back from the graveyard, and while I was running back from the graveyard, I just hit this reset instance button on my main tank, and the instance is reset, and I get a whole bunch of fresh skelly packs. Hearth. This button is clever. It does your Hearthstone if it's up, or it does auto unstuck on Vanilla Gaming if it's not up. Auto unstuck on Vanilla Gaming is like a 15-minute Hearthstone. You can always have your Hearth. And of course, dance. What does this button do? Let's see. Oh, look, everybody's dancing. This is very important in some boss fights to have everybody dance, especially the dance battles. You'll find the dance battles in several of the high-level raid dungeons. Be ready to dance, and make sure you have good moves. Alright, that is every single button covered except for one amazing modification you can do to these. Right? What is that, Todd? What is that? Right. Let's say you have to tank more than one target on a single tank. Well, you can hold the shift key down when you're assigning tanks and tank more than one target. Watch. F4. I Cupcake will be tanking the star. Shift F4. I Cupcake will also be tanking the condom. That means when the fight starts, Cupcake will check those two things every single time you press the button. And if those two things aren't on him, he's going to taunt one of them. He will always keep those two on until they die, or Cupcake dies, or until you remove the assignment with the F6 button. I, Cupcake, am clearing my tank assignment on condom. Ooh, that threw an error, actually. I'm going to have to look at that. None of my code should throw errors. If you see errors thrown on my code, please let me know about them and tell me what the circumstances were, and I will try to create a condition that prevents those errors. That's it. That's everything. No, it's not. Okay, there's a very important one. Let's have everybody leave the party. Everyone leave party. We're all leaving party in raid. Nobody's in party. Okay, so when you log in, this is how it usually is. Nobody's in party. Now, if you hit the 0 button, okay, on your main window, hit the 0 button, that guy, wherever your mouse is, invites people to the party. Hit it a few times because it takes a few times to invite everybody to the party. Right now, everybody should be in the party. Look, I've got all 40 of my guys back in party. But when you have your guys in raid, your raid's not necessarily sorted the way you want. If you go to SM Extend and look for 40 man, you see a bunch of raid sorting orders. These are raid sorting orders. They're in the function sort raid. And you notice all my tunes are listed here with a number next to them. That number is what party they should be in. Change this to whatever you want for your own tunes, right? But here's the trick with Vanilla WoW. You can't sort a raid if it's full. I don't know why. It was bad programming on their part. It was true back in the day. It's true now. You can't sort a raid if it's full. So you have to remove somebody from the raid temporarily. They won't get ported out or anything. Don't worry about that. And then you start hitting this button, the minus sign, the sort raid button. Minus. Oh, I just hit the invite button. That was 0. Minus. And you have to do it many times because to sort raid, the only tool I have is to swap to positions. Yes, that is the only tool you have to sort raid. So you have to swap until you cannot swap anymore. Then you know your raid is in your desired configuration. Finally, hit the 0 button again and you invite that last guy that you uninvited. Now, the only reason any of this works is because I have the add-on Lazy Pig that auto-accepts party invitations. That add-on is in the delivery that I gave you. You will have that. All of the add-ons I give you in the delivery are necessary for what you see me doing. I don't give you any add-ons like Buff Watch. I don't give you any add-ons that are purely cosmetic or purely informational. Everything you see in the delivery that I sent, that I built this week, is critical for making multi-boxing work. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and happy multi-boxing.